tell us why is Lula da Silva there in China now?
Thank you, Maria. It's obvious that Mr. Lula da Silva wants to retake the initiative as Brazil as a global partner, as a global player in what is called the Global South. This is one of the reasons why he's done that. As you said rightly in your introduction, the relation between China and Brazil deteriorated during Jair Bolsonaro's presidency. Before, when his first time as president, 2003 to 2010, China was a bigger trading partner to Brazil than the U.S. was. That deteriorated during Bolsonaro's presidency, and President Lula da Silva wants to go back to that position. At the same time, and I think this is extremely important, the new development bank, which is the BRIC Bank, the bank that formed by Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, has as president now Dilma Rousseff, who succeeded President Lula da Silva. That means that Brazil insisted in having her as president of this new development bank, which means that Brazil wants to have a big important role in the development of this new financial institution. Lula has been very critical of the international financial institution, the IMF, the World Bank, etc., and he wants this new development bank, the NDB, be a new way to deal with the financial situation in the world.
Javier, what does a strong Brazil and China union mean for the environment? We know that is also something that is on the agenda.
That's a very good question, Maria. Brazil has been slightly critical. Lula da Silva has been slightly critical to China in relation to fighting climate change. Brazil wants, and we expect him to remind his hosts that China is not doing enough, as far as Brazil is concerned, not doing enough to reduce its emission of carbon dioxide or greenhouse gases. He wants China to start doing more to that, because now Lula has this newly found sort of, I don't know if the word crusade is the right one, but new campaign to protect the environment. As you know, that a great deal of the rainforest was destroyed during Bolsonaro. He wants to sort of address that. And in the case of the climate change, he wants China to do more. And he wants BRIC, the new development bank, the BRIC Bank, to have a role to play in this particular issue, in which case there might be a slight clash between China and Brazil, because China wants to take the initiative in terms of the financial role it would play in the BRIC Bank, whereas Brazil wants to play a more social role within BRIC Bank.
Let me move you on, Javier, briefly to Ukraine. There are some media reports that say that this will be discussed, others that have said that Ukraine has been removed from the discussion. And is that really a role for Lula da Silva to become a mediator in the Ukraine-Russia war?
Well, when the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz visited Brazil at the end of January, he wanted Brazil to be more involved in fighting Russia. He wanted Brazil to send weapons to Ukraine. Brazil refused to do that, and he said our enemies are poverty and sort of marginalization. Brazil wants Russia to take part in conversations. He wants to work with China to be a mediator in the case of Ukraine. It's going to be extremely difficult for him to achieve something like this because of the situation there. But he wants to do that. But Ukraine is not going to be one of the biggest issues in terms of the visit of Lula da Silva in China. I don't think that's going to be a big development in relation to this particular situation.
Javier, fantastic to speak to you as always. Javier Farje, Latin American analyst, live from London. Really appreciate it. Thank you.